this morning we are bringing the A team. At least we're bringing one member of it. He's known as Mr. T.
Hey, good morning, guys.
And thank you, Mr. T, as in Mr. Tavarious Butts, for being on our show this morning. You know, I've known you for a number of years, and you're always such a shining, smiling, happy kind of guy, Steve. I really like just chatting with you about what's going on. But so you are actually the Keystone Chapter Committee Chair for the Leadership Retreat. So can you tell us a little bit about that? What's that like?
So we had a great year as a committee putting together a retreat for really the region, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, parts of New Jersey, and just had a great time together in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago.
Fantastic. And so for those chapters of CAIs that do not have a leadership retreat committee or leadership retreat period, can you tell us a little bit about where did the idea come from? What is this all about? And what kind of education did you guys deliver this year?
So we're in our second year of the retreat. So this is the second annual retreat, which is exciting. And the idea came from really the experiences not only of the chapter, but also members of the chapter who have gone to similar retreats at a national level. And we recognized that there was a need to bring some of those same conversations and educational opportunities to the region. Last year, we had a very successful retreat in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we got excited about doing it then. And this year, we wanted to go to a different part of the state and touch more people and more communities.
Wow. So yeah, I've attended for other chapters. Now, the word retreat kind of suggests that we're talking about a vacation here, or we're not going to get any work done. But I'm sure there's got to be a lot of education that you guys are providing.
Absolutely. So to the first part of your statement, the retreat is really a time to not only get that education I'll talk about in a second, but also to connect and fellowship with one another. And so we built in times and opportunities for people to just connect, because a big part of sharing knowledge and communication is trust. And you trust people when you talk to people. And from an education perspective, we were able to have some really interesting and challenging conversations. Some of those conversations were around, as the owner of a management company or a senior executive in a management company, how do I add value to my organization? In this environment, so much is changing in forms of technology. There's challenges in the recruitment of new teammates to companies who are going to be as excited about the mission as the owner may be. And so we wanted to have that discussion. We also wanted to have a discussion about risk management. In a world of rising fraud and ever-changing technology and ever-changing strategies, we wanted to have a very open discussion about strategies that management company owners and senior executives can put in place to minimize the risks to the company as well as to their clients. We also talked about the importance of the client experience and how do we create that opportunity to have an improved experience for our clients, to make them happier, and to help the companies themselves be more successful. And most importantly, I'd say, is how do we engage our workforce in the management company arena? How do we get our teammates excited about the work that they do?
We are all in CAI or in BOMA or in IREM, all these organizations, all the vendors are here trying to provide some education to the property managers and the boards. But what's the challenge about bringing education for development for the actual executives, for the directors, for the senior VPs, for the CEOs? Like, what was the challenge for the committee?
So the attendees are management company owners, whether those be smaller management companies, mid-sized management companies, and even large management companies, as well as senior executives in management companies. So this is an audience that has a variety of needs. Some are starting their companies, some are leaving their companies, some have been with their companies for a very long time, and some are new to their companies. And so the challenge was finding content that was relevant for the audience, right? And so we had to think about, if I am the owner of a small management company, what is going to compel me to take a day off, or two, or or three, to take some time to come to a retreat and spend some time with other industry professionals. And so that was the biggest challenge, is finding really relevant content that's going to make someone step away and return feeling like the time was worth it and well spent. And so that's why we try to think through all those roles and talk to people who are in those roles to understand what are the things that they are finding the most challenging in this environment.
You're on a couple different committees.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the challenges on the inside of the committee, like personalities maybe, or organizationally? So like from the inside, what are you guys facing?
So one of the things we face is that fortunately we had a very diverse committee. I think for something like this retreat, we want to put together a super diverse committee that reflects a wide variety of experience. So whether that be management company size or role within the company and or geographic perspective. Of the 27 topics we can talk about, which ones do we think this year rise to the standard of being a topic that not only do we decide should be a part of the event, but then now who do we identify that can be the best spokesperson or best facilitator of the discussion for that topic?
And what was the key to success into planning things? Like couple tips as a committee chair to get things moving in the right direction.
I think creating a environment in which all members feel comfortable, including the chapter staff, because this gets done alongside with the chapter, for everyone to be able to express their thought and respecting that this type of committee is different than a lot of other committees, because the members of the committee are themselves running companies, or they are business partners with very extensive travel schedules, that we have to create a space where they can genuinely and comfortably express their opinions. And so just kind of making sure we're definitely meeting, making sure we're following up in the interim, and just kind of keeping things moving throughout the entire, I think, 13-month period.
So we've really drilled down on one single event, but there's so much more about being involved in your CAI chapter. I mean, can you speak to that a little bit, as far as how is staying involved beneficial for you in the industry?
So I've been a banker for nearly 20 years, and I've been in community association banking for a little over 5 years. And what I will share is that my experiences in business development or client relationship management prior to coming into the community association banking space, oftentimes you're taking what you learn from your company and what you learn from your clients, and that's what helps you to add value to your clients. Or you may go to a chamber event or something else, and you might learn something there, and that helps you bring a value add to your client. CAI creates a platform by which you are always able to learn information, strategies to make you a better professional and a better advisor for your clients. It's ever reinforcing, from the networking events to the education events. So it's an arrow that hits a wide variety of targets in a way that I never experienced prior to my time coming into the industry.
And you did mention something that made me think for a second. We're all trying to bring the value to the people that we're meeting. What is a piece of wisdom that you have picked up?
Enjoy the journey. That, as a person who's always thinking about what's next, what's coming up next, that advice of enjoy the journey shows up when you're at a networking event and you're having a conversation and you really lean into that conversation to not just learn how you can add value to that community, but who is the person that you're speaking to. And so enjoy the journey is when you take it to that next point of spending just a bit more time with the person to better understand the person, and ultimately to then learn more about them.
All the conversations I've had with you, T, you know what, that really starts to make some sense. It really, really does. We do like to give our guests an opportunity to recognize somebody who they've met along the way, perhaps even a charity, or it's just somebody influential in your professional or even your personal life, to give a shout out, just to some recognition for somebody. Do you have anybody in mind that you want to just thank, just give them a little shout out to?
Yeah, so since the topic is the leadership retreat, I want to, number one, thank the Keystone chapter of CAI, specifically Tony Campisi, the executive director, the fearless leader of the chapter, for all the work that the chapter did to make what I feel was a very special event come to life. And I also want to thank the members of the retreat committee for their efforts throughout the year in taking time to do something for which we all had a passion for, but we also needed to execute. And so want to thank Liz Commando, Donna Faith, Lynn Hartman, Chris Mouse, Dave Baker, Jessica Marvel, for all the work that they did this year to really create a space where a lot of people were able to learn and grow and become better stewards of their organizations.
Well, thank you very much for jumping in with us this morning, Tavarious.
Thanks so much for being on the show, and I can't wait to see you again in person.
Likewise.
All right.
See you guys.